We're so proud to represent the Juice Plus company. A few things about the company that I think you'll find pretty outstanding. We're very mission-driven. We have a mission statement. We're mission-driven. We live the mission, and we've got a mission-driven model. But our mission statement is to build a stable and lasting company that will help as many people as possible to realize their dreams by inspiring healthy living around the world. Jay Martin is our president, the founder of the company, and we are world headquartered just outside of Memphis, Tennessee. We're privately held, and we've actually achieved over $9 billion in sales just with Juice Plus. And we have global operations in over 26 countries today. We've experienced over 45 years now of success. We really started in the 1970 when we pioneered smoke and fire detection systems. And then in the 1980s, we diversified with environmental systems for the home and office. And then 1990, Juice Plus was introduced to the marketplace, preventative health care. And then 2012, the Tower Garden, the farm-to-table concept with our Grow Good Health vertical aeroponic growing system. And then by the end of 2016, we're looking forward to the Juice Plus Omega Blend, which is the omegas 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. So we are very proud to be affiliated with this company that is making a difference. We're making a difference not only with our young children around the world, with our Juice Plus Children's Health Study, where today over 1 million children receive Juice Plus free. We're one of the largest contributors to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Memphis. And then with our Giving Back program, we're affiliated with the Boys and Girls Club, as well as Volunteers of America. So through the years, from environmental products to the Juice Plus trio, the plant power of 30 whole foods in a capsule or a delicious gummy form, our clinical research, over 40 published peer-reviewed scientific journals that have proven and continue to prove that Juice Plus says what it says it does into our body, and we have a very unique business model. But this evening, we are going to have a wonderful speaker take good, copious notes. Her name is Dr. Rachel Smartt. And Rachel has been in the business now 16 years. So we've had many, many experiences together through the years. She's a very dear friend. We've shared personal growth journey. We've done a lot of belly laughing. And I think, Rachel, that is preventative health care as well. Rachel is the mother of 4 absolutely beautiful, inside and out, daughters. She is an author, and she is also a national marketing director. She graduated in the year 2000 from the College of Natural Health with 2 degrees, Counselor of Natural Health and Naturopathic Medicine. She is a national speaker, and I'll pause there by saying when I first met her, she was a little bit of a wallflower, and today she's become one of the most articulate, knowledgeable speakers and presenters. So she's come a long way, and she speaks on various subjects ranging from cancer prevention to children's nutrition, stress management, personal growth, and staying positive in a negative world. Rachel has, again, 4 daughters and 3 grandchildren, and is a published author with a new released book called Modern Day Miracles. It's a Christian autobiography on how to be resilient through struggles, to believe and to expect miracles, and embrace the life that you deserve. Her hobbies include reading, writing, traveling, and being around positive people. And this evening's subject is attacking disease with whole food nutrition. And she'll provide a roadmap for aggressive nutritional therapy that helps explain the importance of plant-based diet and detoxification. She'll explain disease-fighting and disease-promoting foods. And she'll conclude on why and how raw nutrition and superior powdered produce through the Juice Plus can build a better foundation to help the body heal itself. So, Rachel, I'm going to introduce you now, and again, we're all very honored to have you. Thanks for taking your time this evening.
Well, thank you, Cynthia. I just love hearing everybody call in from all over the country, and I just appreciate you being a mentor, and I just love being part of this amazing mission, this powerful vision of our company. We come together to really to optimize our health and to really share and to bless others around us. So thank you so much for that introduction, Cynthia. And, just like you said, disease prevention, particularly cancer prevention, has been my passion for over the last 16 years. And so whether you're on the call tonight or someone's facing a health challenge, or you're on this call to find steps to be more proactive, or even anti-aging, that's my intention tonight, is to give you three things: to give you hope, to give you education, and to give you a plan of attack. And so the hope, the things that I have learned in just brief summary before I go into my presentation or lecture tonight, is that the body can heal itself if given the proper nutrition, which should give us a lot of hope. No food or supplement or drug heals the body. The body itself has intelligence within. The education that's so powerful is that the results and the research shows that the number one way to reduce all disease as well as cancer is to increase consumption of raw food. And this information was 20 years ago, so now the research is much, much solid today. And the plan of attack, we have a nutritional plan, but if you have cancer or facing disease, you need to have an aggressive nutritional plan, doing more than the norm. So I will begin just by simply sharing my story so you can relate to me, and then I will go into some other things that can empower you to take your health further, depending on where you are in this spectrum of learning. But I love sharing my story of hope, and we know about how to feed the body and attacking disease with a whole food. And we became very aware in our family. I was 34 years of age, started learning about health, really preventative health. I have 4 kids at that time. I was a full-time homemaker, so my life was a little bit different than it is today. But it was a very scary time in our life when my husband was suddenly diagnosed with 4th-stage terminal cancer. Cancer had spread all over his body, all throughout his bones, and it started in his adrenal gland, and he was given 6 short months to live. So you can imagine a very scary time for us. And the doctors sent us home to, I guess, not to die, but to live the best we could for as long as we could. So we started researching prevention, and we were scared, but we were going to be very hopeful and work hard. And we turned to alternatives, because that's the only thing we had to turn toward, because the medical route wasn't available, which actually was a blessing in disguise. And we started feeding the body real food. We went through a detoxification plan, and we learned about deep cleaning. It is different than surface cleaning. And if you were to look at your home, the way you clean your house, you don't want to, light dusting really doesn't do the job. You have to periodically deep clean the house, move things out of the way, you get behind things, and that's what we had to do to really start working deep within the cellular level. And we met a medical doctor who was a holistic doctor and started working with us to create a detox plan to start first removing the toxins, removing the furniture out of the way, right, to start flooding the body with nutrition as much raw as we could get. And we removed, and just to let you know, we removed a lot of the majority of the animal protein. It's acidic to the body, and I'll talk about that later. But we removed the processed foods, the fake sugars, the fake fats, the artificial man-made stuff. We got rid of all that to really set the foundation for what health is and what can we do to rebuild and to extend life. My husband, just to let you know, we put him on a 1 month of a full juice fast. We did incorporated colonics, skin brushing. Skin is the largest organ of the body. We did meditation, of course, healing herbs, and it was a full-time work. We prayed a lot during that time. And after a few months of juicing, to be honest with you, Cynthia, and all on the call, I was exhausted. It took me 1 hour to juice from start to finish. Just 20 bags of carrots, going through that every week, apples, celery, beets, spinach, and cleaning the juicer was a real big chore. And I, to be honest, struggled to do that every day. And to be honest, my husband, Dave, got tired of drinking it. And so the biggest factor was that time commitment, the expense, the mess, and all. The really thing that changed, or that really made us want to do, to look into Juice Plus as an avenue to get more quality juice powder was the quality of the food that we were getting was not committed to high quality. Even if it was organic, it wasn't picked, vine ripened. We were struggling to get the wide variety every day because of the taste on some of the most powerful foods like kale and cabbage. And so I remember one time my husband said, Rachel, I think I'd rather die. I can't do it anymore. I can't drink this cabbage juice and kale, and even though no matter how much I put the apple juice in it. So it was about that time, and I know it was led by prayer, and a neighbor came up and to us to share a juicing alternative, which was an easy way to get raw fruits and vegetables since she knew we were juicing and trying to get more flooded into my husband's body as well as our family. And to be honest with you, when she introduced the Juice Plus, I laughed and I said, you cannot put a fruit and vegetable in a capsule. And then she reaffirmed the science, and it proved that it worked at the cellular level with clinical independent studies, and that's where I just swallowed and thought, wow, what a blessing. It gave us hope. It was the plan of consistency to be able to get more raw foods flooding through the bloodstream. It gave us peace as we strived to juice when we could. And in 18 months of doing a combination of those things, 90% of the metastases were gone. And I couldn't believe. I knew fruits and vegetables were good for us and our family, but I realized it was so good for our family and for my husband that it actually was saving his life, extending his life. We learned that the poor DNA is not your destiny. You can change things. So Dave's cancer was an aggressive one that we were able to extend life. And to let you know, with the journey that we had, his life went from 6 months to live, 4th-stage cancer, terminal, to 8 extra wonderful years of nearly optimal health. And I think 365 days for 8 years. My youngest daughter was 1.5 years when he was diagnosed, and she was 9 when he passed away. The extension, the miracles, the time. And that's when at that time, I began to be very intentionally partnered with the Juice Plus family, with the education, the support, the partnerships, the journey, and the meaningful work. It was something that I loved. It was part of a purpose, a calling. And I became firstly committed to be a leader in the community with like-minded people to create that bigger legacy of education and solutions. So I rose to the top of the company, and I'm more proud of my National Marketing Director title than my naturopathic degree because what I do and what I've been able to help support, it gives solutions and tools along with education. So along my journey, I've come to realize that people make health changes for 2 main reasons. And it was desperation, I guess, for some, and for us it was desperation is one reason. And the other one is inspiration. People want to look better. They want to feel better. And so my call tonight is to help to inspire you to act now, not later, like we had to, something that suddenly happens. But knowing some of the bad news inspired me as I started learning about what happens and how we develop diseases, because it's silent killers is usually what happens. It inspired me to not sit silently and watch things happen to our children. And just to let you be aware for some on the call that may not realize that, we look around and our children are getting adult diseases. It just breaks my heart. Research has found plaque in utero in unborn babies just don't have the fighting chance than they once did, and which they should have, the opportunity to have the best life possible. We're seeing in as young as 12 years old the beginning stages of hardening of the arteries. And we're even seeing as young as 17-year-olds getting breast cancer, which they should not be worrying about breast cancer at 17. They should be worrying about the wonderful opportunities that lay ahead of them with colleges and careers and marriage. The World Health Organization agrees, as do many other research centers, that 80% of all diseases can be prevented through good nutrition and lifestyle changes, and some say even 90%. So that's the hope there. And to let you know, my husband looked perfectly fine. Actually, he was in the best shape of his life until he had his very first symptom. And I don't know if some of you know who Jim Fixx was. He was the author of a 1977 best-selling book called The Complete Book of Running. And he is credited with helping start America's fitness revolution. But Fixx died in 1984, ironically, After completing his morning run, he was 52 years old and died of a massive heart attack. 90% of his arteries were completely blocked. He looked great before the day before. So I want to make sure that everybody realizes that things happen within us and we don't realize we have to be proactive. And some say, well, gosh, what if you have diseases? And I throw out cancer because I'm talking about the extreme of what people most fear. But cancer, heart disease, do we get it just because we have genetics? And we have a little background noise. If we can have everybody on the line push *6, I think Cynthia's having a problem reading it out. So thank you. So what if cancer runs in your family? What if you have bad genes? There's a new field of studies called Epigenetics, and it's to study how nutrition influences genes. And it talks about what we eat, what we don't eat, and how we handle stresses are the biggest factors that open the doors for expression of those bad genes. And one of our partners that we work with, alongside of some of the things that she does, is Dr. Susan Silverstein, a PhD, a national speaker and director of a nonprofit, beatingcancer.org, says, yes, you can, 90% preventive, you can, beat cancer. And it's just not, it's preventative, it's not just early detection. We have to focus. So I'm going to share 5 ways to prevent disease or to keep it at bay, because we have some choices here. And the first choice is we need to grow good health, or we're promoting a breeding ground for disease. And so we need to create an alkaline terrain, internal terrain. And just like we think of plants, they grow best with the right kind of soil, so does our bodies. We have heard before of pH, the potential of hydrogen. It's a measure of acidity and alkalinity of a solution, and it's measured on a scale of 0 to 14. On the lower end, pH is the more acidic the solution, and the higher the pH, the more alkaline or base the solution is. And when a solution is neither acidic nor alkaline, it has a pH of 7, which is neutral. And the only thing you have to really remember of all that is that your health or cellular pH should range around 7.4, or a pH scale slightly alkaline. So human body pH balance is the key, and to failure to maintain that alkaline pH in our tissues and cells will hurt our cellular health. And all cancer and diseases and bacteria and fungus and viruses and parasites, they all thrive in acidic body tissue. So we want to incorporate a good alkaline diet. We want to be able to have a way to manage the stress and the toxicity that profoundly affects the pH level. And we want to make sure that the way to alkalize the body is we want to consume the most amount of food that we can, from colorful greens and blues and oranges and purples and reds or rainbow colors, and to really incorporate what I call, Cynthia on the phone, and many others, is 80-20 rule. 80% plants on your plate, and the 20% other, which would be good fats and flax and whole grains and nuts and seeds. So those are some things to remember as alkalinity, so we're getting the body to change and create an environment that is promoting wellness.
Rachel?
Second, yes.
Rachel, excuse me everyone, but I'm going to try and mute out again. And I'm going to mute out once, and then if we have all the noise, I'll have to mute out again, because we do have background noise. Just a moment, Rachel, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, Rachel.
Oh, that's quiet. That's okay.
We
have always things happen. That's all right. But we're glad there's a lot on the call. And so alkalinity is really important. And then the second thing I want to mention is we want to make sure that our food has enzymes and living food. And enzymes, to back up a minute, is raw food has enzymes, and they're so powerful as a way to attack disease. They are a protein that gives the life force in food, and their role is so critical. Enzymes bring nutrition into the cell, and they act like a passport to get in to make changes with aiding digestion. It's not just what you eat, it's what actually is absorbed that heals the body. We want to make sure that we're digesting our food, we're aiding in detoxification, building the tissues, and really as living bodies need living food. And so I wanted to just educate a little bit on where enzymes come from. They come from the garden. They come from living fresh food. And when we actually take food from a live source like a garden, we start cooking them. 129 degrees, all the enzymes are destroyed. Enzymes are completely destroyed in all food that can be canned, pasteurized, baked, boiled, roasted, stewed, or fried. And so we want to make sure that we're really trying to eat food that has a little crunch to it, that's lightly steamed, so we can have some life force in the food that we eat so that we don't have to dip into the reserve and to degenerate the body and it ages the body quicker. So we want to make sure we get food to the living source and to not be able to destroy it completely by the way we cook it. The third way to really anchor health is work on the immune system. 70% of your immune system takes place in your gut. We have white blood cells that are our warriors. They fight a massive warfare daily with all the things that are going on. And our true level of health is made up by how healthy our gut is. We must have all the good bacteria to keep balanced immune system. We have an incredible doctor on in our organization, Dr. Candace Corson, who's a medical doctor in the Juice Plus community, who is an expert on the topic. And so tonight I want to keep it simple. We have a lot of recordings and things that she has provided with gut health. But I just basically want you to realize that we have to keep the immune high, to balance. We want to not storm the body with things that are going to sabotage the immune, like white sugar. I think that there's three things, if I could tell you to watch, was the white sugar or fake sugar. And we're not talking about fruit sugar. We want to make sure that we know that the more sugar, we have a less ability to kill bacteria, which reduces the fighter T cell production. Trans fat or fake fat it's where trans fat is formed through an industrial process that adds hydrogen to vegetable oil, which causes the oil to become solid at room temperature. And it's found a lot in our meats, and it increases the shelf life. But it clogs our arteries, and it's banned in Europe. It takes 100 days to exit the body. And we want to realize that we need to cut off the enemy supply line, because there is no such thing as junk food. It is either junk or it is food. Dr. Colin Campbell is one of my mentors, and he's one of the authors of the China Study. And he just says it comes down to eat more plants, less animals, and dairy. And he spent 2 decades of research, and he says that it all comes down to understanding that what causes disease is to thrive is a diet in high protein, animal protein. They did experiments where they did a diet of high animal proteins that was fed to animals with rapid cancer, liver cancer. And when animal protein was replaced by plant protein, the tumors actually stopped growing. And that was 2 decades of research. It was powerful. It's something worth noting. So we want to make sure that we are aware that we have to get back to real food, clean food, and to get back to it's really simple. It's simplifying everything we do. And then the fourth thing is really oxygen, is learning to breathe. I don't know about you, but when I get nervous, I start realizing I'm not breathing hardly at all. And they've learned a lot about diseases that, the studies from Dr. Ott Warburg, he won the Nobel Prize for discovering that cancer cells can't survive where there is oxygen. So that's where it's so important to learn to breathe deep from the gut, to meditate, to be able to manage stress, to be able to communicate different to our bodies, that we can detoxify our minds, and to learn that the best medicine for stress is breathing. It's managing stress through simple breathing, being aware of our breathing and slowing down and focusing on all the good things that are happening. It's just such power, more than it sounds. There's discovering so much more. Then the fifth is you. It's, you matter. Learning how to manage diseases, to be able to forgive more, to love more, and to keep things simple. And it's a process I'm working on every day. I still work on health as a journey. It's not a destination. We strive to do right, and that's where I just, learning and being educated just helps us to do better because we know better. And one of the things I wanted to share on the call, and you mentioned in the introduction, Cynthia, is that some of the top cancer specialists, they really share, and I always mention Dr. Silverstein because she has helped over 30,000 cancer patients with thousands and thousands of doctors, and she works with really attacking disease, and she says it comes down to some basic things, and all the other people that work in the field agree. It comes down to green food. You look at the world today, and you look at what God has created, is the most powerful color on the planet is green, rich in phytonutrients or plant nutrients and chlorophyll, and has also transport oxygen, which is a key cancer antagonist, which I just mentioned. We talk about berries, the purples and blues that slow the growth of blood vessels that feed new tumor cells. So the more we get, the slower this is going to process out. The cruciferous vegetables like cabbage and cauliflower and kale and collard greens, they're anti-cancer properties. They're so powerful. They aid in so much as really, I call it God's chemotherapy. We have flaxseed. I do that every day in my smoothies. We want the seeds. It contains lignans that helps fight cancer. We do soybeans that are fermented. We want to use it like a condiment, but they're very powerful. And mushrooms, garlic, and then green tea. So those are just some to let you know that there is some targeted foods we focus on as we begin fighting. And I know that our body can't stay well unless it is fed well. And we have to build that natural defense with the healing power of whole food. And I don't know anyone that struggles or anyone that doesn't struggle to eat right every day with the variety and quality. And that's why I just love learning about the need for our solution. And we look at one of the things I really saw value with this, and so many people that I help as my clients, is they strive and they should be eating as much plants as they can, but some of the food is not grown the same way as it once was 20, 30 years. Our food is not picked vine ripened from the trees. It's picking way early so it could go into the grocery shelf without rotting, and it doesn't have the nutritional punch or the powerful protective properties that it should have and could have when it's taken from the garden to our kitchen table. And even some fruits and vegetables and berries, they could be sprayed and set on a warehouse for even months and sometimes years. I've heard that apples can be that way before they go into the store. So I want everybody to know that we've got to understand there's a difference of how food is shipping to our homes. And my personal experience, I did an experiment, and I thought this might be good just for people to realize. I have a tower garden. For those who don't know what a tower garden is, we'll save that for another time, but it's a growing system which is growing without any dirt. And it's part of the Juice Plus way in the solution to get more raw fruits and vegetables in our your garden vertical. But I had planted a tomato plant, and I counted how many tomatoes I grew on this one plant, and it was over 64 in just one season. And I pulled out the plant to put in some more cooler plants for the fall, and to plant the lettuces. I noticed there was 4 green tomatoes underneath the plant. And so I decided to do an experiment. I put it in the tomatoes, the 4 green tomatoes, in a bowl, and I waited to see when they would turn red. Cynthia, guess how long it took those tomatoes to turn red?
I'll bet a couple weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Oh, my goodness.
And there was no more nutrition that was packed in those green tomatoes the moment I pulled it off the vine.
Mm.
And so the power of what fruits and vegetables have is they have what's called antioxidants, and there are thousands of natural protective molecules that Mother Nature has laced in large numbers of fruits and vegetables. They give plant their color. They've identified over about 10,000 in antioxidants in one apple. So we have a combination of plant nutrients. They protect the DNA, detoxify the toxins out of the body. They support and balance the immune function. And I always like to say they promote suicide of cancer. They kill off cancer cells. So we want food to do that. And we have what we call oxidation that occurs daily within our bodies and our cells. We can't avoid aging. Our bodies are machines. It's like our home. We're going to have garbage that accumulates in our home no matter how clean we keep it because we live. But we have trillions of cells, and this byproduct of oxidation, it's part of our byproduct of metabolism. But by burning oxygen for energy, we create up to 10,000 attacks on our cells through a process called oxidative stress. And the only way we can neutralize this damage is through antioxidants. And the more antioxidants we have, the healthier we are, and the wider the spectrum of fruits and vegetables and berries we consume, the wider range of antioxidant coverage in the body. One of my people, Richard Cutler, is one of the NMD, the medical doctors from the NIH. He said, how many antioxidants you maintain in your body is directly proportional to how long you will live. That is powerful, but now we know. We got to have the antioxidants to stop and slow the aging process. Dr. Smokey Santillo discovered the top 30 of the most potent fruits and vegetable berry blend that really attack and douse disease. He created a formula, a solution for me and my family. And for all of you on the call today, it is open for you. I mentioned in my story Juice Plus, concentrated raw fruits and vegetables and berries in powder with 2 gluten-free grains, and it's in concentrate into a convenient capsule. And they also come in gummies for children and for adults who would rather take the gummies. But I always promote the capsules. I really believe that's the most powerful form of protection. The Juice Plus is now the most researched whole food nutritional product in the world. That's a pretty profound statement. We know what to do, but doing it is a very different story. And so Juice Plus, it's a solution that bridges the gap to our family. And everyone I have ever met has a gap, whether small or large. There's a gap, and we know that there's a difference between vitamins and whole food. And I wanted to just clarify here, Cynthia, that vitamins are important when contained as part of the food, but when taken out of food, they are not absorbed or work the same way. And if I know we're just playing with you, Cynthia, but if I was to take off the C off your name, Cynthia, your name would not spell Cynthia. When we take food apart and start extracting nutrients out of food, it doesn't work the same way. It doesn't work the same way because it takes everything working together in the way it was packaged originally to create the power and the protection. One of the things that I really loved about the Juice Plus when I heard it, because I was a big juicer, I ate I was a vegetarian at the time of being introduced to Juice Plus, was that I didn't eat the peelings of the pineapple, the peelings of the oranges. It's the peelings and pits that are also included into the Juice Plus powder, which makes it so much more protective. And actually, when I'm working with my naturopath business, when the clients were able to take the Juice Plus and do the changes, it was considerably, significantly different in their ability to heal and to feel more energy, so they wanted to make the changes. So to summarize, we have in the Juice Plus, there's 10 cleansing fruits, 10 building and repairing vegetables, and 10 circulating healthy heart berries. And many people have asked me why I share the Juice Plus as a foundation to support program for my customers, and it's because of the research. There are over, and I can't keep up with all the studies, but there are over 30 clinical studies, 20 institutions, peer-reviewed journals in 20 countries and 4 continents around the world. It is the most researched whole food nutritional product in the world with the most research. The studies were done on human blood plasma, not on animals, which was really critical. So summarize, I'm going to make it real simple, but it's all the powders in those capsules when they're eaten or swallowed are all digested and get into the bloodstream. I mentioned they're organ-specific. They target different parts of the body. So some of my clients, they say, well, I eat fruits and vegetables. I eat berries every day, but they don't get all the ones that are in a combination consistently every day. Juice Plus lowers inflammation, supports the healthy immune system, even after 80 days, significantly increasing T-cell activity, natural killer cells that protects DNA. Just in 66 days, or after 80 days, 66% reduction in DNA damage, which is what was done on smokers, which the result was phenomenal. It was like anti-aging. And then just knowing that the process of oxidation, 75% reduction in oxidative stress after just 28 days. So this is just some of the things that I am so passionate about. It's really miracles happen within because of whole food, and it gives you peace of mind as we make changes. And I'm not saying that just because you take Juice Plus you'll never get cancer or disease, but it means your chances are greatly, greatly reduced. I've been eating Juice Plus for over 16 amazing years, and oh gosh, I'm so blessed. My health is it's been transformed. I always have been healthy, but I really have seen, the digestion. My skin looks better than it did 10 years ago. I don't need to take naps in the afternoon. I get a lot more hours in my day, and I just feel the most important thing is feeling the peace, knowing that I'm protecting my body and my family from diseases that we can't see or feel, the silent killers, the inflammation. And I have not been to the sick care doctor in over 16 years, which I have saved a ton of money along with the peace of mind. And the way I view it, for those on the call, I view the Juice Plus as a nutritional seatbelt as I make changes. It's a shield of armor. I never liked taking pills. I hated pills. But I look at the 6 capsules as a turbo warriors. I take it and I visualize it going through my body, just being a Pac-Man, eating up all the bad stuff. And I believe it's my magic protection. And I'm so grateful that my children were able to participate in the Children's Health Study, where children ages 4 through college get it for free and no charge to the customer. And we've seen over 92% changes or positive benefits in the children on the health study. It's changing behavior. So the kids who get more raw food, they tame those taste buds. They make the changes easier, and it's just filling in that gap. And I just wanted to just share a couple stories really briefly before we end the call of some transformations that have occurred in some of the clients that I have had. And I have a lady named Ruth. She started Juice Plus, and she was trying to balance out her body. And she had irritable bowel syndrome. She had diabetes. She had high cholesterol. She was even taking depression medication and was overweight. After 4 months of getting this flooding in the body with the Juice Plus, she saw greater results. After 4 months, can you imagine, she had no diabetes, but she had type 2. In 4 months, that made that much difference. Her cholesterol was normal. Her bowels were regular and formed, and she lost 12 pounds, getting rid of all the toxic buildup. And she had a lot more energy, and she knew it was not coming from stimulation. We don't want energy coming from stimulation. So that was a really amazing story. Another family who was introduced to Juice Plus by her son's basketball coach, and I was sharing her story. And her son was not recovering from a football injury. And it was I guess it was maybe 6 months or so not recovering. And within 2 weeks of taking Juice Plus, they noticed a significant healing of the injury. And he also noted their allergies, their symptoms were gone. And so that time they just signed up their whole family because it was something that was going to, it captured their attention, and the results captured their passion. So you have heard my passion. You've seen my story. It is something non-negotiable. I will never be off. I want everybody to know that you live your best life, because you don't get to decide how we're going to die. We only get to decide how we're going to live. We want to decide, commit, and live the best years of our life twice over. Thank you so much for letting me share my story and some of the nuggets that I have learned through the last 16 years.
Well, Rachel, thank you so much. And as you were speaking, I felt like we all fall into kind of 3 categories. There are those of us that are proactive and continuing getting education of the power of whole food, and education's power. And then there's those that are focusing on fighting a challenge, whether it be cancer, heart disease, or stroke. And then there's those that are really ignoring it. And I know of a lot of people, I'm sure you do, that comment, they say, I don't know whether I eat to live or live to eat, and that they feel, well, this will never happen to me attitude. But we're all vulnerable. Every single one of us are vulnerable, and being prepared, like you've just given us this education tonight, and being prepared really gives us confidence. And it is a nutritional foundation. As you said, a nutritional seatbelt. And that is, I just look at that as armor that gives us protection. So I really thank you, and everyone on the phone I know wishes to thank you too. And I really encourage everyone to order your book, The Modern Day Miracles. It's a mother and daughter journey of faith and resiliency. And you can get that on Amazon. Is that correct, Rachel? Am I directing folks in the right direction here? Did you say yes?
Yes, on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. It's really the emotional part that can help you with any crisis that you face. So I hope that could be a resource, because that is the biggest things I learned was the emotional health, as well as I share a lot of nutritional components that we shared tonight on the call.
Well, and it radiates through you, because those of you that know Rachel and have seen her with her daughters, she looks like one of the daughters. She certainly does not look like the mom. So we all want to be ageless and just live a life of as much as we can, and just be proactive here. So, Rachel, thank you so much. And I'll open the line so everyone can thank you.
Thank you, Rachel.
Rachel. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Big call, Rachel.